What's up, everybody? I'm Greg Miller. Today, the Immortal Hulk Hogan is here to tell me about, being Hulk Hogan. Then Phil Robb tells me all about the monsters and mayhem in Evolve, but first, is the Uncharted movie ever gonna actually happen? Spider-Man's Aunt May is getting her own movie? This is Up at Noon. The one and only Italian meatball, Brian Altano. The producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino. And keep it going, because this is Brian's first Up at Noon married. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, he's off the market. Today's top story. Chris Pratt has passed on the Uncharted movie. He's not going to be Nathan Drake.
Damn it.
Darn it.
Do you really care?
No.
No, I mean, I just want to see this movie happen at some point. Right?
No, see, this is, no, that's the wrong path to take on this. Don't go on the wrong path. The question is, well, yeah, why does everyone keep getting out of the Uncharted movie? And the answer, of course, it doesn't need to happen.
No, not at all.
It should not be a thing.
I don't need it. It does need to happen.
What do you mean it does need to happen?
We need a good video. We've said this before. We need a good video game movie.
You've said this before.
To break into the era of video game movies, right? We've only had trash up to this point, truth be told.
True.
And I think Chris Pratt would have done an awesome job. I think that would have been great. You know?
Sure.
I was on board with David O. Russell and Mark Wahlberg back when that train was leaving the station.
And that train was on fire literally as soon as it left the station.
The second it left, it blew up.
And Nick's like, I'm the conductor, I'm in.
But I don't know. I think it's a beloved franchise. I think they could do, in the right hands, they could do a really good job with it.
Brian?
No, this shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen at all. It's a bad idea.
Why are you guys against this?
Because we're not like you, old man. We don't care about movies. We love video games. Video games don't need to go into other mediums to be cool.
They're cool on their own. Just make video games so they can eventually make a movie.
Especially video games. Especially video games that are rip-off of movies.
That's fair enough.
This is halfway through the making of this movie, the guys are gonna look like, okay, Chris Pratt's gonna be in a jungle for 4 months, hanging from a rock while an old man yells at him, and he's gonna look down and he's gonna be like, why didn't they just call this Indiana Jones? And they're gonna be like, we didn't get that kind of money.
We couldn't get Spielberg.
That's what this is gonna look like, and it's gonna come out, and people are gonna be like, what a Indiana Jones that was.
You don't know that, though. You don't know that. It could be the Iron Man that we need for video games, right? It could be the movie that breaks everything out and tears open the whole.
But here's the problem: is that Iron Man had no expectations, at least for me and a lot of people, right? Oh, Robert Downey Jr. We'll see what this guy's got up his sleeve. And you went in, it was amazing. Uncharted is one of the premier PlayStation franchises. In the infinity gauntlet of PlayStation franchises, it's like the red gem. It's right there. Everybody's all about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the middle finger.
Yeah.
So you think that maybe starting off something a little bit more low-key, like The Last of Us, I guess?
No, you started with Little Big Planet.
Little Big Planet, the movie.
Starring Chris Pratt.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Put him in a full sack costume and see what happens. Roll him down some obstacles and some hills made of cloth and fabric and just roll the tape.
Okay.
I still stand by, I think The Last of Us is they're going to be the first great video game movie. That's got the creators of the game on, the writers of the game on, they're all set, they're good.
That's a hard one, though, because I mean, so much of that is the performances of the actual voice.
That's why you got Maisie Williams.
Okay.
Remember her?
No.
Yes, you do. Game of Thrones.
I do.
You know, you're making that up, you jerk. Brian.
What?
In other news, humanity has made it to a comet with a robot.
We did it, everyone. We're finally off our planet.
Launched in 2004.
Screw this place.
The robot probe Philae. It's from the Europeans. It's from the Europeans. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's made it to this stupid icy rock. Do we care? Why do we care about this?
Did we really get everything we needed from the moon in an afternoon? I guess we did. Okay. That seems crazy to me.
I was letting you go. I didn't know where you're going.
When do we there's planets that we should go to, and then we're like, we're gonna go on a comet.
Technically, the moon's not a planet.
This show.
I'm torn on this because, like we all know, the only time we should be landing on comets is to blow them up.
Right.
Right. I mean, the best movie ever made, Armageddon.
Yeah.
You know, starring Bruce Willis.
Sure.
Well, that's why you want an Uncharted movie, because you don't care. You have no bar for quality.
I just want loud action.
This is the guy who loves all the Fast and the Furious movies. So
all of them.
All of them.
Even 2. Like a redheaded stepchild. Yeah.
2's the one where they steal bicycles, right?
2's the one, I think they just steal like cigarettes or something like that.
It's a cigarette and a skateboard, and that's the whole movie.
Eva Mendes is in it, so it's pretty cool. She has a cool line at the end.
She's like, I'm Eva Mendes.
That's Eva Mendes.
We got a skateboard. It's crazy.
Awesome.
Why would anyone
What are we going to learn from this comet?
I don't know.
There's no people on it.
We'll learn something about algae or biographies. Biology is what I meant to say.
Get the biography of this comet ready to go. We always talk about the advances from space travel, but I'm like, I want to get them to Mars.
Well, it took like, what, 10 years to get this thing out there, and then it landed wrong, and now it's sideways. So it's like, we can't even do that right. We can't even land on a damn comet. That thing's,
we can't even do that right.
If that thing were rocketing toward Earth, we'd all be dead right now. I would be looting a 7-Eleven.
How did they pick up that thing that we can't possibly fathom?
It went 6.4 billion kilometers, and you're like, man, we can't even get that right.
Really dropped the ball on that.
Comet, it's beaming back images.
That's like getting to the neighborhood of the party and like hearing the party and not being able to find the house the party.
Going to the wrong house.
Yeah, you're just like, what? I'm at a house where there's only 3 people here and some Cheetos.
Yeah. That's a great metaphor.
Is that a good analogy?
Space travel.
Not really.
That's a terrible analogy.
Brian, do you have anything? Do you care about the comet?
No, I hope we blow it up. I hope we blow them all up before they kill us.
Did they bring a nuclear payload with them? Because that would be cool.
What if this was, of course, just an off-the-record thing? This thing was going to get here in 30 years, so they sent this thing there as our last hope to stop it.
Well,
way cooler story. They should have went with that headline.
Yeah, I would have.
And everyone's like, you blow it up? Like, no, we got some photos and the solar panel's dinged up.
If they were like, we have to kill it before it kills us, everyone would be like, oh man, Ebola's over. Let's talk about this new thing already.
Ebola is over, right? We talked about this now.
So last week.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. That and Kim Kardashian's ass. Those are the big stories now.
That's really the gift that keeps on giving.
That comet?
No, Kim Kardashian's ass.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Speaking of gifts, Mini Gregway, our third top story is the Shulk amiibo is a GameStop exclusive. You like all these Nintendo things.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
I've seen them. I like the idea of them. They're cute. They're pretty. I like the Link one. I play Link and Smash, of course. But now we're already getting out into this Shulk from Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah.
Would we call what you do in Smash playing?
Huh?
Is that playing? Or
we call it dominating.
Oh, okay.
We call it dominating.
It's just yelling and hitting the biggest button. And then hoping.
Double checking. It looks like you're playing in slow motion most of the time.
For the record, Nick has beaten me a few times. But I always come in second in the group. So I think that's good.
There's 8 more people to contend with.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew this would happen. This is like, there's this like, in the video game industry, you go from having something incredibly amazing to having something totally terrible in like a day and a half. So they're like, oh, we're finally making Nintendo action figures out of all your favorite figurines. We've wanted them for decades. Here they are. You got to go to GameStop to get one of them. And you're like, I hate that place. You have to go in there and talk to that guy, and he tries to sell you a Pokemon strategy
Do you want your
guide.
Strategy guide for this amiibo? No, I just put it on the thing and it works.
And if you're a girl, you get hit on, which is horrible.
If you're a good-looking guy, you get hit on too. It's not
and there's
bad.
a mom goes in there and buys. Really?
Yeah.
Hey.
But, I
Who told you that story?
mean, good-looking guy, Nick Scarpino.
Happens every time. That's why I don't go near GameSpot.
Yeah. That's not why you don't go because you're on the lists. That's why you don't go there.
That's true. That's true. I steal stuff. I'm a thief.
One of my GameStop stories where this guy was a total jerk to me, but I'm like, yeah, he nailed me and got me in the right way. In college, we went there, and me and my friend were looking through PlayStation 2 controllers, right? And I was like, I want to get the blue DualShock. And he's like, well, yeah, you could get that, but we have this Mad Cat one on sale. And look, it's smaller, so if you ever, when you have girls over and they want to play it with it, and the guy, and my roommate just goes, you think this guy ever has girls over? And I was like, well played, Brian. Well played. I'm down with the amiibos when they get to people like Dry Bones. Give me a Dry Bones. He's an amazing character. He's not in Mario Kart. I want Dry Bones to be
There's probably a
represented.
list of 10,000 characters above Dry Bones.
I don't think Shulk is above it. At first I got excited. Is it She-Hulk? Is it a typo and it's Hulk? No. It's Shulk from Xenoblade Chronicles. But then I got excited when I was reading news they got Mega Man coming.
Yeah, that's
I'll
good.
buy a Mega Man for sure. Nick.
Will you buy every Mega Man in every different paint color? Because they'll do that now.
No, that's something Colin will do.
I'm just glad I'm not a dad, because this
Oh
would
my
suck
God,
right
can
now.
you imagine this? Disney Infinity and the Skylanders and the cocaine. Everybody's getting that.
Do kids still do cocaine?
Yeah,
something
they're
they
starting
still do?
younger and younger now with the slap bracelets.
Oh, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Gets in through the skin.
Yeah.
Well, they're actually
Pores.
full of cocaine now. That's
slap
yeah,
bracelets
they
or
weren't
the
like
amiibos?
that in the 80s. In the 80s, they're all heroin.
Oh, I see.
We just did drugs back
Times
then.
they
It was-
are a-changing.
It was dark.
Brian, you're the biggest Nintendo fan on the panel. What amiibo do
saying
they
that to me.
need? I just want to make sure
It's like
everybody
a
knows.
threat.
He's the biggest Nintendo fan on the panel.
What do you need? I don't know. Go get Mario.
No, who do you want? I'm saying, what do you want in a perfect world? I want Dry Bones. You want?
How is Dry Bones going to work? He's a skeleton. They're going to
the
have
hell
like fake clear plastic between all of his parts or something.
I mean, you've seen drawings of him. He's gray. What do you mean he'd be fake? You just put black in there and he's there.
Okay, we're getting hung up on the wrong things. I want Rob the Robot because he's awesome. I also
Yes.
want like a tiny airplane bottle. Just on a little stand, like Smirnoff
Jack
or
Daniels?
something.
Okay.
Like Jack Daniels,
Yeah, I'll
and then you
take
put
that.
it in, and a giant bottle shows up.
Will it automatically fill up
Yeah.
when I put it on, like a little filling station?
Yeah,
for
that's
my
the
drive?
thing. You fill it up, and then
take
you can
that
drink
then.
from it, and then not play that game, and then it's not even an amiibo, and it's just your.
You could just do that with a regular bottle of alcohol right
It's
now.
just a
play
normal
that game.
toothpaste.
It's not even here today. Yeah. It's,
Nick, who do you want as an amiibo?
I mean, can we choose third party? We have to say
Yes,
first
third parties exist.
I want. Let's go DC. Let's go Batman. I want Batman. I want to bring a Batman around with me everywhere I go, so I can just place it on there. And
That'd be a good
Batman's
answer to
in the
Disney
game.
Infinity, actually.
Batman?
Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, DC characters.
You know, you can bring a Batman with you everywhere you go now.
Why? How do you know I'm not? I'm hiding one of my pants right now.
Oh, that's... I thought you had a weird...
Final story!
It's my little Robin.
You know, these comic book movies are all the rage. This week, there's a rumor that Aunt May might be getting her own movie.
What is this all about?
This is Sony clearly trying to screw over Marvel's goodwill.
I like that they're doing this though. Because,
No.
Okay, no. The movie is a terrible idea and it's horrible and no one should see it or support it. But it's kind of amazing to see this sort of like Biggie, Tupac, East Coast, West Coast rap battle between Sony and Marvel, where Sony's just like...
This is like Mike Tyson fighting a fifth grader. Like there's no fight here. They're just pinned down, being destroyed.
But they have their characters and they can be like, we're making an Aunt May movie and she's a dinosaur. You. They can do whatever they want.
The movie would be about Aunt May as a youth, before she was shouldered with the responsibility of raising Peter Parker. The target mood is some sort of espionage story in the vein of AMC's Mad Men, which sounds like a way of saying classier Agent Carter. That's IGN editorializing there at the end.
Wow.
I don't remember Mad Men having espionage in it.
No.
Maybe I'm just not watching that show right.
I remember when Ken Cosgrove ran over the dude's foot with a lawnmower. That was awesome.
At some point, didn't he lose an eye too? Maybe there was espionage.
A lot of spoilers for Mad Men. Sorry, we should have waded into that a little more carefully.
See, origin stories are cool when the origin story leads up to the bigger, more important story, which is not a 90-year-old woman living by herself.
A 90-year-old widow living by herself with her nephew that she raised who doesn't come around anymore. Yeah. He's always late.
Like, I mean, if you show me like Wolverine like right before he gets the adamantium and stuff like that, I'm like, man, this is a cool origin story because he becomes Wolverine. He doesn't become an old lady in a house.
That one didn't turn out that well, actually.
In the 4 times they tried to tell that story,
yeah, they really kind of didn't nail it any of those times, sadly. I don't think they need to make this movie. I think this is reaching. This is ridiculous.
Okay, that's all you need to say then, I guess.
I think so. I mean, look, you got side characters, that's great, but they got a whole lineup of movies they can do before this, right? Like Sinister Six, Venom, Carnage, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Do those first.
Nightcrawler's
Those are actually
uncle.
cool characters. Nightcrawler's uncle.
Yeah.
Right,
Uncle Nightcrawler.
Uncle Nightcrawler.
And they're just like, oh, it's kind of like Lost, and they can just say a TV show, and people are like, oh, all right, that's fine, whatever. Just get me through this life.
Fair enough. Greg, what are your thoughts on this?
Speaking of getting me through life, Greg Way, ladies and gentlemen, professional wrestling has been there every step of the way. Today, the name amongst names comes to Up at Noon. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Immortal Hulk Hogan. I mean, the first question has to be just, what is it like to be Hulk Hogan?
Well, let me tell you something, brother. What it's like to be Hulk Hogan is everywhere you go, the men, the women, they all treat you like you're still the champ, brother. That's what's so cool.
Deservedly so, I say.
That's what's so cool, man. I started all this craziness, you know?
Yeah.
Before wrestling was boring. beer drinkers, cigar smokers, real blood and violence. We still have real blood. But anyway.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You dial that back. No,
that's
PG
right.
product.
We eliminated the real blood. Okay. But yeah, it's kind of cool to see all these guys, you know, jumping on the bandwagon. All these girls that have become, you know, wrestling fans and fans of the entertainment world.
But these are fans of you.
Well, that's cool too. I love the shirt, brother. Thank you. Hey, this guy here is representing. He's got the red and yellow on. That's strong, brother. Thank you.
I've had these no-name wrestlers in here, your Chris Jerichos and stuff. They don't draw these kind of crowds. Jericho's not some joking. Christian, I love you, Chris. Don't worry. But no, but I mean, like you know, they call yourself the Immortal Hulk Hogan. You're all these. You are a national treasure. You are Elvis walking the earth.
Had a good run.
It's not over.
No, it's not, man. No, it's not. That's what's so cool is, you know, I'm going to pitch the stuff later, but 31's here.
Yeah.
31's here at Levi Stadium. That's a monster. I mean, that's a huge deal.
WrestleMania tickets on sale now.
To be, you know, I was at the first one, now I'm at the 31st one. That's pretty cool, man.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I know. It could be the last one.
Well, no, wow.
No,
geez,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I mean, they might cut you or something, but damn, right to it.
It's exciting.
So, does it ever get old? The fact that people go crazy to see you can't walk anywhere. I'm sure you can't do anything. You're trapped in a living prison.
24/7, yeah. The weird thing was yesterday I was in the Atlanta airport without Jimmy. We traveled together and hang out.
Jimmy Hart, Mouth of South.
Mouth of South. And you know, Instead of our normal duck and dodge routine, find the food and, you know, make a few phone calls, I just went to the gate and sat there and was like an hour early before I came to Frisco. And this poor big black dude was sitting next to me. Nice guy.
Yeah.
But he was so kind to everybody because there must have been, within that hour, I must have signed at least 150 autographs and took a couple hundred pictures because I was in the hub of Atlanta, right where you cross to change terminals, right where the escalator was. I was at one of those gates right next to it, and this guy kept getting up every time. And I never had time to even hit one digit on my cell phone or do anything because the moment I'd take one picture, someone else would come, and this poor guy kept getting up all the time.
Yeah.
And he sat and asked me when we were getting off the plane, he goes, "How do you handle it, man?" I said, "Well, first off, it's 24/7. Because, you know, when I go home and I go hang out with my wife Jennifer and my 3 chihuahuas, the bandana comes off the bald head, and there's no red and yellow in the house, and actually become Terry. But when I walk out the front door, you know, I'm not Terry, because when I walk out the front door, the mailman's going, "Hey, Hulk, how you doing?" I go, "Oh, what's up, brother? How you doing?" I mean, so it's 24/7 the moment I leave the house. So he says, "How do you put up with it?" I said, "Dude, thank God it's still happening."
Yeah.
After all these years, for all these guys to be so loyal and for them to still be excited to see me, it's pretty cool.
Well, you're talking about, you know, your run in WrestleMania's run. When you're doing the first few WrestleManias and it's becoming this giant thing, and you have fat kids in Illinois like me wearing my Hulk Hogan shirt and holding on to my wrestling buddy. I mean, did you think this is great, but it's clearly going to end at some point, and I'm just going to have to go be some guy?
I didn't know that, kind of like the Gladiator movie. I didn't know.
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, Russell
Dynamite
Crowe.
film.
Yeah, one of the gladiators in their dressing room before they went out to kill each other. One of the gladiators said, "You know something? They can't destroy the name because they can't destroy the man because the name is getting so big." And I went, when I heard that in Gladiator, I went, wow, that's kind of what happened with the Hulk Hogan name.
Yeah.
I just thought it was going to be a little run, and I was going to make a payday being a wrestler if I could make it and have a good time. I had no idea it was going to span 30 years plus, and the name would become so powerful that if you put it up against any other brand, it could hold its own. If I went through any type of crazy negativity, drama, trauma, personal business, it would hold up. And that's how powerful the name is, because these people have been with me since day one. They've watched me, you know, do the arc over the last 30 plus years. They know who I am, you know, what I'm all about. And it's really cool that they're still on the ride with me.
I mean, what's crazy for me is that it's not just people on the ride with you, more and more join you, right? And I don't know if it's
intense now. It's getting really intense the last couple of years.
Right. Well, of course, it's because of the WWE Network, $9.99.
$9.99. But it's free for
if you're a new person right now, you can get on for free, right, this whole November. Don't worry. Waiting for my check, WWE. But no, you figure if you're a current fan right now, like Cena brought you in or whatever, right, you can go and see all these classic matches, see all these classic storylines and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I get these kids coming up to me that are like 5 and 6 years old going, "Oh, we loved it when you slammed onto the giant." I'm going, "Brother, your parents weren't even alive when I did that." They go, "Oh, YouTube, Hulk, should we go to YouTube?" No, I said, now it's the network, you know. So it's really cool that the Hulk Hogan character has become immortal because of the network. You know, it's really cool.
Well, that in the video games too. WWE 2K15 out this week as well.
That's strong, brother.
Yeah.
That's strong.
How long did it take you to sign all that? There's the Hulkamania edition.
Oh my God. Oh, good grief.
He had to sign like 25,000, 2,500?
50,000.
50. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to underplay it.
And you know, when they reeled me into this one, you know, we're gonna make a WWE says, "Hey, Hulk, we're gonna make a special collector's edition with the signed 5x7, which you can't spread out and gracefully slide through and sign real fast. They stick together. They're real high metallic and gloss, so it's like pulling each one apart." So there's 50,000 of them. They come to my house in these big boxes of these 5x7 cards, and then in the special edition, there's a player's card, and there's a piece of the ring mat, and all this other stuff. But when I got the 50,000, I called the WWE office. I said, "You know, I want to know, has anybody ever done this before?" And they said, "Yeah, 2 guys." I said, "Who?" They said, "Stone Cold and The Undertaker." I said, "Okay. How long did Stone Cold take to do this?" And they said, "Well, it took him about 6 months to get the stuff back to us." I went, "Okay, what about The Underwear Taker?" And they said, "Well, we stayed on him. We really stayed on him, and he got it back in about 4 months." So I said, "Okay, I'm going to have it back in 2 weeks."
No way.
Yeah. So as I put my head down, and I'm like, I'm nuts once I get focused, you know?
Yeah.
And I get into something, I'll beat it to death. And once I started, you know, it got really intense. All of a sudden, in about my 3rd or 4th 10-hour day, all of a sudden I get this whole package in the mail of 3,000 3x5 WrestleMania posters they needed back right away. And when you sign them with that paint pen, you can't stack them on top of each other. So I got these monster posters by myself trying to find out where I'm going to put them in my house. So I've got these 3,000 posters that interrupted my flow.
Yeah.
So I got through that, and then all of a sudden, right when I'm getting rolling again and I'm jamming, you know, another package, my wife Jennifer goes, here's some more stuff for you. I opened it up, it was, I think 1,000 or 1,500 little tops, little stickers or something, which is no big deal. I was just like scratching the fleet.
Sure,
That
just a line.
Pissed me off. You know? But anyway, to make a long story short, it took me like 16 days, and I got them all signed. But next time.
Stamp.
No. We can't do that. I was going to go Hulkster or, going to go HH, but you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because I've seen John Cena go JC. I was like,
These young bucks, they don't know.
I'm like, oh, no, I had to nail it. They have to look good. You can't. I did get tired a couple times. I fell asleep as I was writing Hogan. I wrote some stupid stuff. Then on the card I wrote, hey, I just fell asleep, and this is what you get. So there's a couple of those in there,
There's
too.
some limited editions out there.
Yeah.
Hulk, we've been talking a lot about WrestleMania, obviously.
Yeah.
There's a new book out, 30 Years of WrestleMania.
Yes, sir, brother.
The DK Publishing. They're the whole reason you're here. We started this thing on Up at Noon where I cut an amazing promo. Best wrestling promo you've ever
awesome.
seen. Thank you.
Anyway, yeah.
I told everybody who's an Up at Noon fan to send in their own promos. They could have the chance to win the DK 30 Years of WrestleMania book, a WrestleMania chair signed. You were going to pick the winner. You've watched them all. Who'd you pick?
Brother Hulk Hogan here, the greatest of all time. And after all the trials and the tribulations and piles of miles of trials, I've decided that the winner of the DK 30 Years of WrestleMania giveaway goes to the Duct Tape Kid, brother.
All right, let's see that promo.
Luscious Logan Anderson. Tasty Xavier Moncrief. Look in my eyes. Does it look like I'm playing around? They don't call me the Duct Tape Kid because I play around. They call me the Duct Tape Kid because my clothes are made of duct tape.
Awesome.
That Duct Tape Kid is really, really awesome. That Hulk Hogan is the kind of community IGN and Up at Noon has. I told people you were coming on. I asked the Twitter kids for questions.
Okay.
These are the good ones.
I'm ready.
I've been throwing you softballs and garbage ones.
Okay, let me dig in. Let me be Hollywood Hogan.
This one comes from Megan_IGN. I swear not all of these questions are from people who work here. Is there anything you haven't done in your life that you'd like to accomplish? You put on your glasses to be all funny, and then it was a serious one.
That's real serious. No, I've done it all, brother. I can't think of anything.
So then my question then, because this is something I always talk about with one of my friends, his name's Colin. He always says if he got a little bit of money, he would just leave. He would just go into seclusion, be done with it all. Why do you keep, you've accomplished everything. Why do you keep doing stuff? Why do you work so hard?
Well, I used to have a lot of money and I lost it all. But when I had a lot of money, I still wanted to work.
Yeah.
So now I'm making a lot of money again and I still want to work. So I just can't, I just have fun with what I'm doing. I mean, it's just great. I just don't want, everybody talks about being retired when they get older. It's like, who wants to retire? I mean, you gotta have fun, and fun to me is work.
That's a good one. That's a good one. This one comes from Moreman12. Moreman12. When did you start saying brother and why?
I started saying brother probably after about 4 years in the wrestling business after getting hit in the head with a steel chair all the time. I would meet people and they'd say, hey, my name's Adam, and I'd turn around and I'd go, hey brother, what was your name? And I realized I couldn't remember anybody's name.
Yeah.
And so I wrestled for about 25, 30 years. I never heard the word concussion.
Yeah.
And then when I went back to wrestling, probably about 7 or 8 years ago, when I went back to a certain company, they'd swing a steel chair and all the guys were putting their hands up. I go, what a bunch of pussies putting your hand up. Now you can't even hit anybody in the head with a steel chair.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I just can't remember anybody's name. Plus I meet 5,000 people a day, and I can't remember anybody's name.
I like how it started
off.
It started off funny and then got really sad.
Yeah.
This one comes from NNZ Hussein. He says, if you could be in one last match, who would you like to wrestle?
One last match. Wow, that's a tough one because, if I wanted to do one last match to have fun and tear the roof off Levi Stadium, it'd be against Cena. If I wanted to have one last match it would be to drag that coward out, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Show him what a real can of whoop ass is.
But I've heard from reliable sources that when you hear the glass, it's your ass.
Well, that remains to be seen, brother.
Okay. Sean P. Malloy, he says, what's your perfect Sunday?
Oh my God, perfect Sunday. See, I live on the beach, so I'm a beach bum.
Yeah.
What people don't realize is I go out and I work really, really hard and I hit all these major cities like Frisco and New York and go do whatever I do to make my living. Then I run back to the beach with my tail between my legs and turn into a beach bum. So on a Sunday, I got a couple boats, you know, and if it's with the guys, I got the Go Fast boat, the 100-mile-an-hour plus boat to have fun with and get crazy. But if my wife's around and we take the chihuahuas out, you know, on the boat, I got 3 mean-ass chihuahuas.
Oh, yeah, they're
Yeah, I got Duke, Pebbles, and Pumpkin Spice. Yeah.
Chicks dig pumpkin spice.
Spice is the meanest of all of them, believe me. But I go out on the boat with the dog and hang out. That's Sunday, man, just being on the beach.
Okay. Final question comes from plump_bear. This is his moment. Did you get to keep the boat from Thunder in Paradise?
No,
Son of a bitch.
but I have that exact boat.
Yeah.
When I was going through halfway in the middle of the 9 back surgeries I had a moment when they had me all floating on air where I said, I'm gonna build the boat again. Duh. So I went on.
Were you talking into your hand?
I don't know who I was talking to, but they sure as hell took my money. Yeah. I went out and I purchased an old 97 Miami Vice Scarab hull because the boat profiles so well in the water. And I completely gutted the boat, did the whole upholstery, gauges, everything, and put 2 big Viper motors in it. You know, like in a Viper car. And that's the boat that the girls will not go on. That's the one that the guys go out on and raise holy hell in.
Wow. All right. Well,
so I do have that boat, but it's
not the real one.
No, it's not the Thunder boat. They used that boat. They took both those boats away from us, and when the series was over, and I saw them in McHale's Navy, the movie. You know.
Kelsey Grammer touching your boat.
Whatever.
Hulk.
Yes.
You're a national treasure. Everybody should go to WrestleMania 31,
yes, sir.
Right here in San Francisco.
Yes, sir.
Kind of. Technically, it's in Santa Clara. The San Francisco 49ers should change their name, but no big deal. Next up, buy the video game. WWE 2K15. You're in that one.
Of course.
Buy the book. 30 Years of WrestleMania.
Yes.
Go to HulkHogan.com. Follow you on Twitter.
Yes.
Keep buying your shirts.
Yeah.
What? Anything else? What else are we plugging?
Well, if you're ever in Tampa and you fly into the airport, there's 3 signs when we leave the airport. Tampa, St. Pete, pick the door that says Clearwater. Because when you go over the Clearwater exit, and you make a sharp left about 30 seconds after you leave Tampa Airport, on the left-hand side of the road is Hogan's Beach.
Okay.
And Jimmy Hart lives there. He runs the place for me. We have the craziest electronic music. We got Hardwell, we got Steve Aoki, we got Little John, we got Skrillex, we got all the major players coming in. And on Sundays, we got 4,000 or 5,000 people at my place. It's nuts. So if you guys ever want to party, come down to Hogan's Beach.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the Immortal Hulk Hogan!
What you gonna do? Thank you, brother.
Run wild, run wild. We all know the pythons, ladies and gentlemen, but do you know the monster's coming soon to a video game console or PC near you? Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Evolve. I'm good, how are you?
I'm good.
Now, all today, people coming up to me, are you nervous? Are you nervous to interview Hulk Hogan? What are you gonna do about Hulk Hogan? You're the one I'm worried about.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, well, I mean, what's getting back to society like? You clearly wandered out of the woods. Is there a manifesto somewhere on the internet I should be reading?
I haven't posted it yet.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that's gonna be bad. No, what's with the beard, man?
No shave till ship, man. In January, myself and a bunch of guys in the studio said, hey, we're not gonna shave until we ship Evolve. And we have a contract, it's on the wall, it's signed.
Oh, wow. What happens if you violate the contract?
You are universally shamed at the studio. I've got a big stamper that I ordered that says fail, so boom on your name.
Wow.
And you hate kids because for every inch that we grow, we're giving $50 to child support.
That's nice.
Yeah. So those guys hate kids.
Now, of course, you broke everyone in the world's heart when you had to delay Evolve. You pushed it back a little bit.
Yeah, well,
when you signed the document, did you know this was coming?
No, we didn't.
Well, I'm sure the wives loved that.
My wife was kind of upset. Yeah. The beard for that many more months.
Yeah. She's like, just ship it. You can put out DLC. You can fix it in a patch.
Nah. Well, yeah. I mean, but good things come to those who wait, and we felt like we needed a little extra time to polish it up a bit.
Yeah.
And, and fix some of the stuff that we weren't happy with. So, that's what we did.
I always talk about the nutshell. My mom's watching this. She didn't know who Hulk Hogan was. I had to explain that.
Right.
She doesn't know what Evolve is. For somebody who doesn't know Evolve, what is Evolve?
All right, so Evolve is for you and 3 of your buddies, 4 guys, teaming up to fight a gigantic alien monster.
Nice.
I mean, you know, what else is there to say?
I guess what I would want to know is, like, when did you guys know you had something special, right? This is one of those games where, in the beginning, you know, a long tail of development, it started showing up at conferences, it started showing up, people would go play it. Yep. Somebody from IGN would go play it, then they'd come back and be like, we'd all be like, oh, we love GTA, we love it. And like, no, guys, you gotta play Evolve at some point. You gotta play Evolve. It sounded like a cult. And then you play it and you realize, oh man, it's actually really good.
When did we know we had something?
Yeah.
That's hard to say. I mean, the thing is,
why it's a tough question.
Evolve is, the idea for Evolve has been around for quite a while. I mean, Chris and myself have been talking about it since before Left 4 Dead.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, it's just one of those things where we're always looking for a new experience, right?
Sure.
Like, generally, I mean, Left 4 Dead was this, Evolve was this. It's like, hey, we want to have this experience. It's not out there. Why isn't anyone giving it to us? So, hey, oh yeah, we're game developers. We can we can actually, you know, do this.
Sure.
But I think, you know, it always happens the same. You know, where we get it up and running as quickly as possible. We start play testing it in the office, which was 4 months into development in the case of Evolve.
And that's rare, right, for game developers?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Apparently, I think it's insane. You know, not to play your game, you know, the whole way through. But I guess some games don't lend themselves to early play tests. Our stuff generally does. So yeah, 4 months in, you know, we're playing it, and we say, hey, this is actually, you know, this is fun. So we're gamers, right?
Yeah.
We play a lot of games, so we sort of feel like, well, if it's something that we like playing, you know, hopefully, you know, it's something that everybody else will like playing. And it's usually that first time whenever you take it out and let people actually get their hands on it. That's another thing, you know, that we feel really strongly about is we're not going to bullshit you with a big cinematic trailer, you know, and hey, look how pretty our game is, you know, and not actually show you gameplay.
Sure.
We want to get the game into people's hands as quickly as possible. And I think usually that's whenever we're like, okay, we got something. You know, because people are walking away smiling, you know, and while you're playing, you know, people are cheering and yelling, you know, and kind of riveted to the screens. That's usually when we're like, okay, I think we got something here.
So the big question for me then is, I love Evolve from what I've played. Clearly, I'm unbeaten. There's a video on IGN of me just destroying Naomi and a bunch of other schlub IGN editors.
There is that. I have seen that video.
Thank you very much. The thing is, I love it, and I'm playing it, and I'm enjoying it in these 2-hour bursts. I imagine you see this game as an incredibly long life cycle, right? Like, what's going to keep me coming back and playing these maps over and over again, these matches over and over again?
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, the game itself has a very sort of procedural nature, right? I mean, and the thing is, like, that's like asking somebody who's played, or, you know, asking Counter-Strike players, how many more times can you possibly play DE Dust? You know? I mean, DE Dust has been played a million times. That's sort of the same kind of thing we're going for here, right? Okay. Every experience is a little bit different. New players bring, you know, new strategies. There's always something different happening. The procedural nature of the wildlife and the weather and stuff like that adds sort of an unpredictable element. And the fact that the monster is a human-controlled player, you know, I mean, so the boss that you're fighting is
one of your friends.
One of your friends, or maybe not. You know, maybe you want to kill him afterwards.
Sure.
You know, I don't know.
Man, if I can just settle some grudges in the wall, that'd be nice.
In addition to that, you know, I mean, there is, you know, there's 12 characters to choose from, right? Each one very unique and very different, right? So, I mean, you can always be mixing and matching your team, trying different strategies, looking for different synergies and things like that. So, I mean, when you take all the sort of different elements and combine them together and kind of multiply them, you come up with kind of a really huge number of different things.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, yeah.
So you got the 12 characters. Tell me about the monsters. There's not 12 monsters, right?
3 monsters.
3 monsters.
Right.
That's lower than 12.
That is.
Okay.
That is.
I didn't know if you knew.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
But thanks for. You know.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
So how do you hone in on those 3 that you want to pick and make into things?
I would just pick the ones that are the most fun.
Were there other ones that just didn't make the cut that you were trying out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about it. Was there a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
Maybe.
DLC, I'm just throwing it out there.
You know, you're not the only person who's asked for that.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. You never know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. This thing doesn't sell well, you'll be putting all sorts of things. Here comes the Monster Energy drink monster and all the other things.
It kind of lends itself well to that.
It does. No, it's
Goliath
it's an easy one.
flavor.
Oh God.
Kraken flavor.
What have I done? No, but so they're the most fun. But I mean, like, how many do you start? Do you just start spitballing ideas? Like, is this something you're thinking about in the shower?
Yeah, well, not so much in the shower, but you know, I mean, but you know, just sitting around
a lot of horrific
thinking,
things in there for me.
hey, what would be cool, you know?
Yeah.
And that's, you know, everyone always thinks there's some big, you know, like huge scientific method, you know, and it's just like, no, a bunch of dorky game guys sitting around thinking, hey, you know, it'd be really cool. and you know, and that's generally where a lot of our stuff comes from. Yeah, we had a whole bunch of monsters, you know, that were, and we still have some more that I think you may end up seeing in DLC because just, you know, for whatever reason, we either didn't have the time to, you know, to really sort of delve into those monsters, or, you know, we wanted a little more time to kind of figure out those ideas and make them better. And so, yeah.
So what's your favorite? Like, there's the Goliath, obviously ground-based. My favorite, the Kraken.
Yeah, I think
he can
Kraken's
fly.
my favorite as well.
Yeah, high five. We're bros.
Yeah.
Bros
I mean,
right
I
here.
like that kind of stand back and rain lightning bolts down on you kind of style.
And what about the last one you've revealed?
The last one that we have not revealed?
Damn it. So close to having you, because then you got to start thinking, did we already reveal it on IGN first? Maybe I should just tell Greg about it.
No, she's hanging out in the shadows, you know, just sort
It's
of
a she, though,
waiting.
huh? Spider. It's, it's a giant spider.
You caught that?
Giant spider woman egg thing. It's that girl from Saga, the spider girl.
Don't know, man. Yeah, can't say that.
So then, right now, February is the release date. You're closing out, or I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, the year's ending pretty quick. What's happening in the studio right now?
Well, right now we've got a lot of kind of tired guys that are, you know, kind of burning the midnight oil and getting things, you know, wrapped up and making sure everything's working good and fixing bugs. That's usually what happens. The thing is, shipping games sucks. That's like the least fun part about making games is that last 6 months is pretty torturous.
Just because I guess that's the question, right? Like we hear about, you know, I talk to developers and they're always like, if we had our way, right, the game would never come out because it'll never be done. It'll never be finished.
I like shipping a game, but yeah, I mean, I think you probably would see that.
Yeah.
You know?
So I mean, is it just
Blizzard?
shots fired?
Just kidding, guys. I got good friends that work over there. I have to
Not anymore, you don't.
bust their balls.
Yeah. Joe, you put me on blasting up at noon. Yeah. So then, all right, we're coming up here, final home stretch. What is next? Do you guys take a giant break? Do you have to immediately start thinking about your next project?
No, we
Left 4 Dead
don't get.
3
I
on
mean,
PS4?
we'll get a little bit of a break, but you don't take a huge break. You take a little bit of time off, but yeah, I mean, you start thinking about what's next. You start thinking about DLC. You know, all the stuff that we weren't able to stuff into the box, you know, and we still want to do. We start thinking about that and how we're going to get that out there.
And then keep supporting, right? Like, I mean, you're talking about this game in
no,
Counter-Strike
I mean,
terms. It's going
that's
to be
the thing.
out forever.
We don't want to just throw the game out there and fuck off and go make toasters, right?
It'd be awesome if you did, though. That'd be a really cool story for video games. They made the perfect game and then they went and made toasters. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you know, they would be awesome toasters too. Right? No, we want to support the game. I mean, the thing is, like, we love our community. You know, we want to have a big community. We want to continue to support the game post-release. I've said this before, you know, and I'll say it again. We want Evolve, you know, 3 years from now to be that game when, you know, whatever game you just bought ended up sucking, you know, and you're like, you know what, let's go play some Evolve because that game rocks. Yeah. That's what we want Evolve to be. You know,
Great.
6, 7, 10 years down the road.
We'll just make another one too at some point.
Well, we could do that.
Yeah, okay, good. Just make sure. Phil, thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks, man.
Evolve out this February, everybody. One really clapping. Now, Phil, you can keep shaking my hand. It's been a pleasure having you. I'm sorry. A long time ago, ladies and gentlemen, we had this guy named Hulk Hogan who used to come by and give Japanese gaming reviews. We figured since the Hulkster's back in our presence, we should do it again. So here it is, Hulk Hogan's news on Japanese gaming.
Let me tell you something, brother. The other week I traveled to Tokyo's Akihabara district in search of rare Famicom cartridges. There I happened to cross a young man playing a new third-person shooter RPG Vita mashup called Freedom Wars, brother. Straight out of Studio Japan.
Go chin the curb, sister. Anyway, brother, Freedom Wars is available now and packs some of the deepest customization this Immortal has ever seen on the PlayStation Vita. You know, I know a lot of you thorn wielders were disappointed by the lack of DLC last week, but PlayStation reports you'll get 30 pieces of content this week to make up for the mistake. So say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and charge your fetus, brother. Freedom Wars is running wild, Jack. So what you gonna do when Hulk Hogan and Freedom Wars runs wild on you, brother?
Thank you to Hulk Hogan, Phil Robb, Colin Moriarty, Nick Scarpino, Brian Altano, and you, my audience! If you enjoyed this episode of Up at Noon, share it with your friends. As a reminder, I'll be answering comments the first hour this video is live, so come tell me your favorite Hulk Hogan memory. Mine is when I took off my shirt and he chopped me 3 times. Dick. We'll be back next Monday at noon with Sting, the wrestler, not the guy who sings a lot. But until then, I'm going back to bed.